So James, I guess first one, just the decision to come back to Calgary, kind of thing. What went into that for you?
Calgary is the place where I really learned how to be a professional on a daily basis, hourly basis, weekly basis. And I am a fan of the culture here just because, as you all probably know, we went to 2 Grey Cups, won one when I was here before. And that's something that I wanted to continue when I made this transition back up to the CFL.
So if you felt like you were learning to become a professional the first time you came here, how do you feel your role might have changed with the second stint?
I mean, inevitably it changes just because, I was on a rookie contract, was really a bit of a reserve player playing when other guys got hurt. So I think that, being able to come back up as someone that, maybe in a little bit more favor in the opportunity to, earn starting spots, play a lot. And I think that's something that I look forward to. That's something that, a lot of guys play football, college, pro, high school football with, and always are seeking the opportunity to really see what it feels like to be favored on a weekly basis and be a starter on a weekly basis. And I look forward to that, and hopefully that will feel a lot different than the last time I was here.
James, with the NFL experience, how much better of a football player are you coming back here?
I'd say just the things that you learn from a technique standpoint, from a movement standpoint, are something that, I really appreciate the opportunity to, be around guys like Khalil Mack, be around guys like Robert Quinn, be around guys like, Justin Houston, someone that I trained with during the offseason for countless years. So I think just watching them on Sundays on the TV copy is one thing, but being able to watch them do one-on-ones and, freeze frame certain range of motions that they're able to get into as pass rushers I think is what sets them apart from, other guys, and you're able to see the details of that on a daily basis, and you're able to see how they train, how they approach the game. I think, yes, I learned how to be a pro here, but, some of the ridiculous athleticism that you see from, Hall of Fame talents in the league is something that's incomparable. And I'm not going to be shy about that. But at the same time, a guy like me who doesn't have that same talent can make the most of his opportunities just by understanding those, biomechanical things.
Was it all it was cracked up to be? Like, was it what you thought it might be when you were down there, heading in? Like, did you have visions of one thing and it was kind of lived up to it?
Well, I guess being up there in 2020 during the COVID season, it's an empty stadiums, you can't really say that it was all it cracked up to be. But I think my experience was one that, I knew that when you grow up wanting to be in the league, you grow up wanting to be, you want to go to the Pro Bowl, you want to be All-Pro, you want to, like I said, be a starter on a regular basis, you want to get drafted, you want to go to the combine, like all that stuff is, stuff that's part of like the, what it is a fantasy for a lot of guys. But I think that, once you get there and it becomes a reality, I think that the access that you get to what I'm saying is just being able to see those guys that you watch go to the Hall of Fame and see them as your peers. I think that's the part of the dream that becomes fulfilled, because in a road like mine, I guess it becomes a lot more about the process than the destination. And the destination being the NFL, I think that you only think, that's like you're saying, when you grow up watching it, all you think about is the destination, but you don't think about, tearing your bicep your rookie year as undrafted free agent on practice squad. You don't think about, sitting out the whole year after that, like stuff that, becomes more prevalent in your mind that you more so have to overcome to reach the dream rather than just the destination of the dream itself.
So what was the conversation like for you with Dave? I mean, was it a no-brainer to come back here at that point?
Obviously, like anyone would, you weigh your options because, you have the XFL, USFL, CFL. But for me, I'm always a person that's wanted to play football in the fall. And I'm always a person that has wanted to, enjoy playing the game. And I enjoyed playing the game more here than I did probably anywhere else since I was in high school. And, leaving high school and going to college and then, going to the pros, you really you don't expect to have as much fun as you had in high school really playing ever again. And thankfully, I was able to feel that here because I think the game jades a lot of guys that end up on paths like mine where, you get cut more times than you can count and are number 53 on the 53-man roster time and time again, and season after season. So I'm thankful that I was able to come here and enjoy the game in a way that, I wasn't necessarily sure was possible when I was going through the uphill battle that I began to understand that I was going to have as a professional.
You sound like you're saying that football is fun, and that's why you're coming back here.
Contrary to what Coach Boone says, remember the Titans, yeah, football is fun.
Hey, were you paying attention at all to CFL free agency? It was so busy, some of your former teammates, obviously, they've gone on to other places kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to pay attention to the guys that I know, obviously with Instagram, the media coverage and stuff like that. guys like Wayne McManus, even guys like, Florent Arimolade, even guys like Tunde Deleke, like all those guys, like keeping up with them and, watching their stories and watch them grow as players and get the things that I felt like they deserved and had the talent to deserve and earn when I was here before. I think that's like just as inspiring to me as, as anything.
So how did the conversations with the Stamps kind of come up again this time for you? Like, was there kind of an open line of communication when you left, or was there anyone in particular with the team that you just kind of kept in touch with?
I think when I originally left, like I had like a very one-track mind about it, but as I continued to play and as I began to see like how the things that I learned here helped me down there, I think there was never a time when the line of communication wasn't open. I'll say that.
So what was it like for you? Sorry if you answered this earlier, but what was it like for you just walking back in this building and seeing what's changed and what's still the same?
I was having a conversation earlier, and a lot of the things haven't changed that much. And just based on what we were doing when I was here before, I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. I think that when you're a great team, like some of the ones, like the two that I played with in 2017 and 2018, I don't think that if a lot of stuff had changed, I don't necessarily think that would be a good thing. I think, great teams, when they lose a lot of players and they lose a lot of coaches, they become good teams, but they never become bad teams. And I think it's easier to get back to great from good than if we were great and a bunch of things had changed and, we were bad now, you know what I mean? So I think that a lot of things are the same, like slight changes in personnel, but I think just from guys on the D-line still being here, like Mike Rose, who I played with, who I came in with, Wiggins, like all those guys, I think that, those are cornerstones of a locker room, and I think Calgary understands that, and I hope to, be the same.
Have you got any goals in mind this year that you can share with us, or are you kind of going in open book?
Well, winning is always in the plan, and I think that that's something that's done by wanting to win every single play and always thinking about winning the play that's right in front of you. I've never been a person that, sits down with a piece of paper during the offseason and says, I'm going to have, 35 sacks this year and I'm going to have 150 tackles. I've always been a person that approaches, every day of training the exact same and approaches every play the exact same, approaches every game the same way, and the goal is always to win.
So can you sum up the way you play? What, 1 word, 2 words, 3 words? How do you see yourself when you play?
In 1 word.
A couple words if you want.
Aggression is the 1 word that I would use.
Tenacious.
Tenacious. That's a good word as well. Resilient is a good word as well. I think that, I don't think I've really had the opportunity to not play that way, if that makes sense. Like, I've always gotten coached on, like, coaches have always said that my biggest strength is my, violence, intelligence, and effort. And I think that you have to be able to do all of those things with aggression in football to be, for me at least, to be good.
Sounds like a good fit for the Chicago Bears defense, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence, I guess, yeah.
It sounds like, you sound confident, like you're having fun, you really like where your game's at, and you came from really dynamite teams here in Calgary. Now we're in a position where the team hasn't won a playoff game for a couple of years. Like, where's the hunger level to kind of return the franchise to that level last time you were here?
Well, I can't speak for the locker room aspect of what's been going on while I've been gone, but I know that when I was here, and the culture that I keep talking about, and the guys that, and I learned how to be a pro here, it wasn't because like just being here taught me to be a pro, it's because there were specific guys, Micah Johnson, Junior Turner, even learning things from watching Hughes. It's like those guys like made an active decision to, try to get me opportunities and try to teach me everything that I could learn, because the thing about the CFL with American guys is almost all of us have had an opportunity in the NFL. And I think that I think they were able to see that in me, that the hunger and the ability to do it, and everyone that's probably up here also feels like they have that same ability. So when that opportunity passes you by, you feel like you want to give that back to someone that you think could also make that journey. And I think that selflessness is something that I'll always appreciate, and I think it's a big part of why I was able to have so much fun playing up here, and why I was able to learn so much, is because there was no gatekeeping on any information that could help you be a better player, that could help you win. And I think that transparency is something that you need to have in order to do the things we want to do: win Grey Cups, win playoff games, win every game.